Coming up, incompetent doctors and non-existent dosages, impossible movie splicing, production flubs hiding in plain sight, and a stunt performer who's far more visible than intended. David Fincher's Fight Club is a cult classic that still fires on all cylinders decades later, with standout performances from Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, and Helena Bonham Carter. That said, a number of mistakes did make their way into the final film, and this video brings them front and center. During the doctor's visit, X-rays are visible on the wall behind the narrator. The one on the left is both upside down and back to front. This becomes immediately obvious when they're flipped the correct way up. Bob is introduced as an experienced former bodybuilder.
My name is Bob. Bob.
Bob had been a champion bodybuilder.
Yet he mispronounces the names of the anabolic steroids he says he used.
I was a juicer. You know, using steroids. Diagonal and withdrawal.
People mispronounce things all the time, so this isn't necessarily a mistake, but it's still worth highlighting. Tyler gives his interpretation of why oxygen masks are used on airplanes.
You know why they put oxygen masks on planes? Oxygen gets you high. In a catastrophic emergency, you're taking giant panic breaths. Suddenly you become euphoric, docile. You accept your fate.
But it's scientifically incorrect. Euphoria during cabin depressurization is actually caused by oxygen deprivation, known as hypoxia, the complete opposite of Tyler's explanation.
That's an interesting theory.
The front of Tyler's business card lists his phone number as 555-0153. But when the narrator dials it, the tones for the first two digits correspond to a 4, not a 5, and they differ from the third 5 that we actually see him press, even though all 3 digits should produce the same tone. Listen again. It's also worth noting that a handwritten number appears on the back of the card, 555-0178. If that's the real number, the one printed on the front wouldn't work at all. This isn't a mistake though, but another of the film's many subtle nods to the truth. The narrator explains how multiple reels of a single film are projected seamlessly for an audience.
See, a movie doesn't come all on one big reel. It comes on a few. So someone has to be there to switch the projectors at the exact moment that one reel ends and the next one begins. If you look for it, you can see these little dots come into the upper right-hand corner of the screen. That's the cue for a changeover. He flips the projectors, movie keeps right on going, and nobody in the audience has any idea.
Tyler then reveals that this reel changeover is exactly how he's been
Slicing single frames of pornography into family films.
The problem is, that single frame is perfectly synchronized with an audible moaning sound. With optical film projection, the audio track is physically displaced from the image by around 20 frames, which is just under a second, making this kind of precise visual and audio synchronization impossible unless Tyler was also editing the sound separately. As the camera pans towards Tyler's ringing phone, a white paint spill is visible on its left side. When the narrator answers Marla's call moments later, the paint spill has moved to the right side of the phone. Marla's Xanax prescription is labelled as being 300 milligrams, but that dosage doesn't exist. Xanax comes in 0.25 milligram, 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligram doses. Judging by their shape and colour, the pills shown next to the bottle here appear to be 0.5 milligram tablets. Lou punches Tyler in the stomach, dropping him.
You hear me now? Oh, I didn't quite catch that, Lou.
Then hits him twice in the face, bloodying his mouth.
Still not getting it.
In the very next shot of Tyler,
Okay, I got it.
the blood has completely disappeared. Tyler cuts out newspaper articles about Fight Club's activities, but the body text of the articles doesn't actually correspond to the headlines. Feel free to pause here if you want to read through them. Did you see the mistake? As Tyler and the crew enter the loading area wearing waiter uniforms, the padded bodysuit worn by Meatloaf, who plays Bob, is fully visible. His trousers are down, and he quickly pulls them back up to hide the padding around his legs. After Bob is shot by a police officer, he's taken back to the Paper Street house, where the narrator removes his mask. His eyes are open at this point, but later in the scene, they're closed. After the creation of Project Mayhem, Bob's name is still used, first by Tyler himself when threatening the police chief.
That's from Tough Sack, Bob.
It's then used again by a space monkey after Bob is shot.
They shot Bob.
Then, when the narrator pushes back against the idea of burying Bob in the garden,
Rid of this body.
Take him to the garden and bury him.
Get away from him.
He was killed serving Project Mayhem, sir.
Bob.
a space monkey immediately protests, saying,
Sir, in Project Mayhem, we have no names.
if this really is a Project Mayhem rule, it's already been broken repeatedly, even earlier in this same scene, making the objection here feel inconsistent.
Hello. I need you to arrest me.
The narrator asks the police to arrest him and tells them to go to the residence on Paper Street to find evidence of Project Mayhem.
Go to the house, okay? 1537 Paper Street.
However, the address he gives them is different from the one we saw earlier on Tyler's business card. During this same interrogation, notice the sweat mark on the front of the narrator's t-shirt collar. It's visible for most of the scene, but disappears in close-up shots, and is completely gone once the lead detective leaves the room.
Keep him talking. I need to make a phone call.
It briefly returns in the next wide shot, then disappears again as the remaining detectives reveal that they
Gotta get his balls.
The sweat mark then returns once more as they back him against the wall.
You're making a big mistake, fellas.
As they grab him, a boom microphone is clearly visible at the top of the frame while they hold him down on the table. The narrator then manages to grab one of their guns, and as he rolls off the table, a wireless microphone pack attached to the back of his underwear is plainly visible. When the narrator tries to break into the credit card building, he unsuccessfully rams the front door with a bench. He then shatters the glass by shooting it. As he kicks the broken glass out of the door frame and steps through, the bench has completely disappeared. In this scene, the visual and audio of the bomb's countdown are often out of sync.
Pull anyone but the green one.
The narrator ultimately defuses the bomb with 25 minutes and 10 seconds still remaining on the timer. However, in the opening scene of the film, which takes place after this moment in the story, the camera travels through a bullet hole in the van's windscreen, and the timer reads 2 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. After defusing the bomb, Tyler throws the narrator down the stairs, and the performer standing in for Edward Norton is clearly visible multiple times as he tumbles to the bottom. Before we get to the final mistakes in Fight Club, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next one drops. 1987's Predator. This is the plan for Project Mayhem.
I believe the plan is to blow up the headquarters of these credit card companies and the TRW building.
Why these buildings? Why credit card companies?
If you erase the debt record, then we all go back to zero.
Out these windows, we will view the collapse of financial history. One step closer to economic equilibrium.
The problem is, destroying credit card company buildings wouldn't erase debt records at all. Even at the time the film was made, that data was stored across multiple computer systems in different locations around the world. When the narrator is defusing the bomb, Tyler tells him,
You know, there are 10 other bombs in 10 other buildings.
However, the explosions we see are not single-controlled detonations. They erupt across multiple floors of each structure, suggesting more than one charge per target rather than a single bomb placed at the base, like the one the narrator defuses. The buildings also collapse far more quickly than they would in reality, producing very little debris or dust. And despite being in close proximity, the windows of the building where the narrator and Marla are standing don't visibly rattle, crack, or shatter as they likely would during explosions of this scale.